Wayne Brown here, the Ram Man. We're going to check out this master cylinder here, getting ready to send it to a shop. Leo's in Pennsylvania. This is our classic double hump master cylinder, used on all Mopars, all cars, all car lines from 67 through 1970. It has that classic lid right there, double hump lid, actually BENDIX number 1323. Anyway, we've got it loaded up here in the vise. We're going to bench bleed it for these folks, make sure that there's no problems. Of course, this is easier to do on the car, whether it's manual brakes or power assist, never under any vacuum. But we're going to be able to tell a few things. We're going to check for fluid flow from both the ports. See, on a Mopar, it's a little bit different. The front reservoir feeds the rear brakes, the R, and the rear reservoir feeds the front brakes. Little bit, the rear piston's a little bit longer, pushes more fluid for the front brakes right here. Front brakes do about 70% of your braking, and the rear brakes do about 30%. Once you bench bleed a master cylinder, like I said, in the vise or on your car, you should never see any air bubbles. If you see some air bubbles coming up from these compensation ports, oftentimes you don't have a good seal right at the brass seat and the double flare. So if you see some bubbles coming up from time to time, that means that you do not have a good seat. You can watch them every now and then. Boop, boop, boop. So we put some fluid in here. We're getting ready to check this one out. I've stroked it a couple of times. You see that geyser that we're getting up there out of the front port? It does that because this is a drum brake master cylinder, and it has residual pressure valves in it. Behind this brass seat is one, and behind this brass seat is another one. And basically it keeps a small amount of pressure on the wheel cylinders at all times. And when you're bench bleeding a master cylinder, you can always tell because it impedes the flow just for a second. And that's why you get that geyser out of that front port right there. See the geyser? Yep. Had just a couple air bubbles in this thing. Wait for the pistons to retract. See, it's not under any pressure, so the springs take. There we go. It's nice and smooth, no bubbles. Now we're going to check for fluid flow. Get a nice stream out of the front port. It doesn't take much to push those wheel cylinders. Now we're going to check the rear port, front brakes. Nice steady flow. As you can see, we have no air bubbles here. If you get air bubbles, boop, 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 from time to time, that means you do not have a good seat here with your double flare and your brass seat. It can also tell you on the car too, if it's mounted up on the car, it can tell you if you've got any air leaks at some fittings, because as it's sucking back, it'll suck that air and the air will come up to the highest point. Boop, boop, boop. Means you've got an air gap somewhere. Alright, let's check it again. Nice flow. Piston retract. There we go. Now let's check the front brakes. Nice flow. Alright. This double hump master cylinder, BENDIX 1323, is working as good as it can work. I appreciate it, my friends. 817-691-5996, or you can look me up on the web, theramman.com, TheRamman.com. Some helpful videos there on the website. God bless you. Happy Moparing.